Okay, so this is kind of strange. My gas gauge doesn't seem to want to work. I noticed it earlier and I was in the middle of a regen and I couldn't shut the truck off and cycle the power or anything like that. But notice that my gas gauge is reading 0. I go through here and I get to my fuel range. Fuel range is showing 0, which I guess is understandable if it doesn't think it has any fuel. Trip A, I filled up 117 miles ago. It's a 36-gallon tank, so I know there's no way I drove through that much in that short a distance and everything. But what's interesting is my CTS2 is showing what I believe is pretty accurate fuel level. See, they're at 81. When I first noticed the gas gauge not working, it was at like 80, I'm going to say 86 or 87%. So I had to drive for a while. I don't know, probably close to 20 miles to get through regen, maybe 25. 6 miles, I guess, since I finished the regen. So yeah, about 20 miles I drove. But what's interesting, I thought maybe I've got first I thought bad sending unit, but that doesn't make sense because I'm getting a fuel level reading in the CTS2. So then I thought maybe a bad gauge. One thing I noticed, and you may notice here also, there's no low fuel level light on. So you would think if it thinks it has no fuel that it'd be low. So if I cycle power off in the truck, I'm going to actually go through the whole process of opening the door, closing the door again, keys all the way out, put the key in. If I turn on just before starting, I notice that and this may be normal, but my fuel low level light came on. All my gauges except obviously fuel and pressure are all low. So if I go in and actually start the truck, fuel gauge light comes on, it goes through the bulb test, goes through the needle test, but then never leaves E. So I'm guessing it's something in the gauge, because if it's a bad sending unit, I could see it reading full or 0 or erroneous level, but it's not doing that. It's just reading E, and it's not actually. It's actually just a tad below. It's hard to see there with the camera, the angle a little bit, but the needle's actually just pretty much right at the E mark. It's not like it normally would be below it when it's shut off. So I don't know. It's going in for some service for other issues tomorrow. Nothing major, but a couple recalls and a tire rotation. So I don't know. I've had the truck for just a tad over 6 months. You can see they're coming up on 13,000 miles. So far, this is like the only thing I've noticed that's actually been wrong with it. So we'll see what they say tomorrow at the dealership.